How's it going, YouTube? Guess I'll start off by saying that my gardening consists of saving a lot of money, not spending much money, and this is my third year of gardening. My first year, I didn't read or learn anything from anybody. I planted some seeds in the on the side of my house that didn't get much sun. And it was horrible. I got two to five potatoes about the size of a $50. I got a couple carrots maybe the size of a golfing pencil. And yeah, it was horrible. Anyway, last year, actually right in this area here, I grew 2 Sun Gold cherry tomato plants, Anna Russian tomato plant, a green pepper plant, and that was it. And I'll try to put a pic in this video to show you exactly what my harvest was looking like every other day, which it wasn't too bad, especially for one person or 2 people. Then over and down that way I had a raised bed, which I put 1, 2, 3. I had 3 cucumber plants, Boston pickling, that I did start from seed. Everything else I bought plants. The picklers I started from seed, and they did really well. And that was it. So this year I figured, not only did I not want to buy plants, I wanted to start from seed, and you know, I'll share my experience with you. Now, I started everything in the house, in the basement, in a window that didn't get much sun. Now, I do have a south side facing window behind that gate there that I fit as many seedlings as I could into, but of course it's just a little, you know, 2 foot by 3 foot window. It is best to put your plants, your seedlings, in a south side facing window. I've learned that really quick because they took off a lot quicker than anything else. As you can see over here, and yes, I don't want to explain myself, but I know I could be grooming my yard a little better at the time. But anyhow, ended up getting this $70, I think it was, greenhouse from Walmart. They are very cheaply made. I'll let you know that right now. The zippers are, mine's still holding up, but the zippers are the cheapest I've ever seen. And the material, as you can see, it tears and rips very easily. Now, I had to go to the store and buy, I don't know if you can see that, these little tubing anchors. Maybe you get a good shot there. Some tubing anchors, and I ended up getting a large pallet and basically anchoring it down in every which way I could, and also anchoring it to my fence, because even with the stakes that they provided you with, our first little bit of wind we got, this thing blew across the yard, got all kinds of tears in it. One part they didn't send me. I don't know if you can see that there. And it's just been but for $70, I am going to use it and make use of it. I'm going to tear it down in a couple weeks and store it for the winter, and then put it back up next spring. But I think it was $70, and from Walmart. It's got plenty of shelves and spacing, and during the early summer months, I'd say in June or whatnot, if the sun's out, it will get very hot in there. You got to keep your curtain up, and it still gets into upward 80 to 90 degrees on them 70-degree days. I even seen it get into the hundreds in there. Anyhow, but my plan of attack was I built this border here, and again, this is all a work in progress, and I don't have much time on my hands to do a lot of things, but bear with me. I'm going to try to speak fast and get this video out with what I can do right now. But anyway, this was the plan of attack. This was going to be all peppers. That was going to be all tomatoes. And well, it just didn't quite work out that way. First thing I learned were peppers. As you can see, I hope you can spot them. Well, first off, a lot of my peppers are getting destroyed by some type of bug, and I'm assuming, since we have a bad infestation of these guys, they're doing a lot of the harm around here. I mean, this was my beautiful big Brussels sprout, and you can see what they did to that. That's what remains of another. That's what remains of another. I mean, it's just been that kind of thing. I did use neem oil. It didn't really affect the caterpillars. So I'm gonna look into some more things. Basically, I'm losing my growth on the peppers, period. They're just getting too much stress. Here's my little variety of pumpkin. These are all various tomato plants. I planted about 5 in a row, close to about 3 feet apart. I used what what things I did have to trellis them and everything else. I got a couple cucumber plants over there trellising, and everything over here is doing good. The caterpillars and the other bugs don't seem to like the tomato plants as much, so just kind of let that be what it is. But as you can see, I had a little cucumber growing here, and that's the damage they've been doing. And you know, that kind of stuff hurts. I grew all these from seed, and I did start some cucumbers around the same time as everything else, probably in early April or late May, or excuse me, March. And yeah, it wasn't a good idea. It's best to do tomatoes, and I would start your peppers even earlier than that, because I found the tomatoes grow rather quickly and the peppers generally take a lot of time. Got some horseradish in the corner there with a little pepper plant in front of it. But yeah, so these, I have red cherry tomatoes, sun gold cherries, Anna Russians, black Cherokees, got a few different varieties. And you know, it came to the point, as you can see, some are doing really well, really big, and you know, some are still small. The small ones are the runts that, rather than pinching off and killing, I transplanted. And I probably won't waste my time with that next year. I'll probably just pinch everything off and not even try to save it and regrow it, because it stunts their growth. Especially if they're the runt and you're transplanting it. Not only is it a runt, it takes the stress of being transplanted, and as you see, I mean, they'll still make it. I'll probably still get some fruit off them. Some of them are even flowering already, which I found kind of odd because they're very small plants. But I don't know if you can see that perfectly, but there's some flowers there. So I'll probably still get some fruit out of them. But anyhow, I'll show you the rest of my garden. Now this little herb garden, it's out of control, I know, but it was here when we bought the home. And I got these. I identified these as Egyptian walking onions. They're scattered about. They taste really well. I haven't dug any up and ate the bulb, but this is oregano. I have lots of oregano growing, and this stuff just seems to just grow. I mean, I had a hard time keeping up with leaves, and so there are patches in here now, but you know, they still seem to grow, just grow diligently. I do have some asparagus growing right here. I transplanted what was one asparagus coming up and a big root ball. They do have very large root balls, I transplanted that, so this year I got those two that I let grow. Hopefully they'll seed and develop more. And I think I picked two. Here's my peppermint or spearmint, not exactly sure. I didn't identify that yet. Empty raised bed, weeds. And this was where my cucumbers last year did amazing. I had like two right here side by side, kind of close. I just let them grow. One here and one here. So this year, of course, when you're planting seeds, you want to drop, up to you, but you know, 2 to 3 in each place, in hopes that one will definitely come up and then you can pick off the weak. Well, I filled this one up in a tight spacing. I forget what they call that, but intensity growing, that's it. I was going for an intensity growth here and I was going to build up a lattice around here and do a trellis. But anyway, planted about every 1.5 foot a couple cucumber seeds. You can still kind of see where the little holes are where they were. But what I am left with is little nubs. When there's nothing even there anymore. But anyway, I've planted twice here and they came up within a few days and they're gone. I'm gonna look into some remedies for that. I don't know if I need some type of bug netting or whatnot. And you'll see this hay / straw little bee there in my garden. Of course, I put that to basically use as a mulch and keep the moisture and weeds down, because I do not have a lot of time for weeding. And here's my kids' garden here. Got a couple pumpkins growing back there.